How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity. It's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Greg Capullo. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. It's probably most well known for his work that he did with Spawn, or his stuff that he's worked on with Batman. But I think he is just a wonderful, wonderful draftsman and a great creative mind. So let's take a look at a couple of his pieces. This one I just thought captured a great moment in wrestling history, which I'm no expert at all in wrestling, but I remember being a child of the 80s. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant were huge in wrestling, and all of my buddies used to talk about them all the time. We never had cable or anything, so I never saw it, but I know for a fact that this is definitely a great moment in wrestling history, and I think the expression in the Hulk Hogan face is so great, and just some really balanced yet exciting and pushed posing really in here. Some really nice weight and balance here. I like how you see the pushing of the arm off of there and the grip around here. This is just a really intricate and detailed composition to get these weights and the balances and the movement throughout. And what I love about any kind of piece like this is you know that it's really a storytelling piece, because there had to be something that happened before this moment. It wouldn't just appear this way, and there has to be something that happens after this moment. So it's really glimpsing that little bit of storytelling just in a single image that I love so much. Again, I really like what I loved about this Clayface drawing was this hand. I thought this was a really dynamic hand, and you can just feel the clay pouring off of that hand, and just a great thing. Also, the jaw is really interesting in that pose as well. This one, I really liked the way that he did this nose. I think that's a really interesting line that I don't really use, but I like it. It's got that little bit of wave, and it's a single line, but it indicates the tip of the nose and the curvature right there, which I thought was just really interesting. Again, a great Mr. Freeze piece. I really like that mohawk and the facial expression. The perspective's really nice there as well. This one is just so imaginative. Just Batman as almost like a bird gargoyle type creature. Really interesting imagination and a reimagining of a character for sure. And this was the one of the first pieces that I ever saw of his that I just thought was just amazing. I really like the ripple in the fabrics here, which mimics kind of the bat wings. And this whole piece together just really holds in so nicely. Again, you can see the versatility of his abilities, getting to do these harder with more muscular and more bony creatures within the softness of a female. I thought that was a really good example of that too, and just a great example of page layout here too, and composition. So let's go ahead and I did find a quote that I wanted to share with you guys, and that was it takes a lot of sacrifice. You have to be prepared for that. And I think that's one of the aspects that as a teacher or a mentor or a student or any of that kind of learning process doesn't get pushed enough, is that if you want to be good, if you want to grow, if you want to get better, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. And there's going to be days where you might want to go out with your friends, or you might want to go out to see a movie, or you might want to hang out with your family, or you might just want to read a book or do something else. But if you want to grow, you have to be okay with not doing that stuff. I think having a couple of hobbies is important so that you can better inform the main thing that you're passionate about. I think it just helps give a little more perspective, but I think at the same time there's a lot of sacrifices that you have to make to improve and to grow and to push yourself and to get better. And if you want to make it so it's not just a hobby thing, but you want to make it more of a career or a lifestyle, or you want to become a master of your craft, you can't just play around here or there. It has to be some daily element of your life, and a lot of time into that too. It's just like a job, or it's a 10,000 hours thing, or whatever. They're all just different explanations of kind of the same thing, is that you know, if you first start at a job, your first day, you're like, what the heck is going on? You're learning a bunch of stuff, but you don't really know the in and outs working. And then you've worked there for 3 months, and you're kind of used to a regular thing. And then maybe you get a promotion, and then you start understanding the company a little bit more. And then you move up again in the company, and now you understand it in a whole different way. And you've been there for 4 or 5 years. You can run it basically in your sleep, but you're starting to learn more things about management or about the higher up thinking. Of things to do in the company. It's kind of that same way with the creative world. Is, you know, the first day you start out, you're just having fun, and you're just drawing whatever you feel like drawing, and then you go, well, maybe I'd like to learn a little bit more, and then you learn some perspective, or then you start learning anatomy, or then you start learning composition, and, you know, all these different things, and then you start blending them all together, and it's just a big growing process. And if you want to get better, and I think you also have to revisit early stages. I know I'm always going back to the 12 principles of animation for myself, trying to learn them and understand them in different ways. And I think you get a cursory knowledge when you first learn about it and apply it. And then after you've done it for a year or 2 years or 3 years or however many, you know, each time you go back to those basic principles, they start speaking to you in different ways, whether it's because of the place that you're in your life or the amount of experience you had in the time since you originally came across those ideas or anything too. So let's go ahead and get into some animation before I get too rambly. This is the rig that I'm going to mispronounce, which is the Augury Guardian. Again, I don't play Dota 2, so apologies to all of you out there who know the correct name. As always, comments down below. Feel free to correct me on anything or tell me that I'm wrong about anything. I'm perfectly fine with that as well. And if you're not familiar with what we'll be doing for the rest of the video, I go off and I find a rig. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with that I've never touched before. Give ourselves around 48 frames, give or take. I think this one's going to be a little bit longer. And we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, just hang out with me while I animate, a little bit of talking through the process. But the main goal of doing these videos each and every day is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to go off and create your own unique, wonderfully creative, imaginative content each and every day to take another step in your journey towards mastering whatever medium it is that you're passionate about. So let's go ahead and get into some animation. So I was thinking for this one, we would do a little cycle of a little bit of like a pull up and shake and then spit out kind of a cycle. So let's see how we're going to do that. So let's grab all of these guys and try to use them as one unit if we can. Or maybe we'll use these 3 or 4 as a chest, and this one as a hip. Let's see. Sure, we can say. Let's see how they bend. Yeah, I'll use this. Maybe we'll just use these 3, and then these 2. Yeah, I'll do that. So let's push that a little bit more. Use this just as kind of a neck. These, rotate them there. I think I want to push. Can we push it forward? No, I only have rotation. Okay, so maybe not as far. So we'll bring back, just trying to create a more interesting storytelling pose here. And we'll start with these being a little more relaxed. Not a ton more, but a little bit more. So let's go ahead and okay, I guess we gotta do them all individually, it's fine. Just relax it a little bit more so it's not so pushed open. And this one as well. These all a little bit more open as well, just so we get something that's a little bit different than the default kind of T-pose or basic pose that we start off with here. Alright, and we'll have to do these kind of individually as well. So we'll start off here. I think that's an okay place to start with. Go ahead and set our frame range, which I'm thinking is going to be longer. Grab everything, make sure we just have our NURB curves, NURB surfaces, and polygons selected. We're going to go ahead and save our file. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. And for more information on that and all the stuff we've mentioned so far, check out the links in the description below. And let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and hit S on our keyboard to lock in that one. And then we'll go ahead and hit up around here where we'll do one more that's a little bit of a crunch inward. It doesn't have to be a lot more, but a little bit. Maybe only about here. Don't need to go so far in. And this is just going to be a basic rough posing pass, and then we'll go back out here, rotate that up here, bring the head back a little bit here, and we'll clamp up all of the little bits and pieces here. So I'm going to try to get into kind of a bloom way. Let's see. Might need to do these individually. Let's go ahead and delete that. Go here at the base. Bring it in. And bring this one. It's not going to be as perfect as I was hoping it would be, but I still should be able to get something out of it. Tilt it a little bit more. And 1 second. Alright, let's keep tweaking this. There's a good bit by then, I guess. Kind of wanted to keep it just on rotate, but if we can't get there, we can't get there just with that. I want to try and get this to feel almost closed here. Like a rosebud or something. Bring that one up, over there, bring that one down, this one down. I guess that's okay. It's not as perfect as I would like, but it's workable. We'll just do more on this guy then. Okay, so we got this, we'll set that, it's going to be one of our main keys. And then we want to go to where we're shooting it out here. And let's grab these, pull these back up a little bit more. And maybe we'll have to tweak these a little bit more individually. It's kind of a bummer. I wanted to use them a little bit more cohesively, but if we can't, we can't. So let's see. And then we need to get back into it, so go about 65 frames. And we'll get back into where we are so we can kind of cycle this. Okay. Alright, now let's start off. And we'll take what we have it for and hold that till about 12. Kind of play with our timing a little bit here. Let's hit that a little bit more because I want to hold this. So it gets in there. Let's watch it now. Maybe set that. Might be a little too tight. I want a little bit of movement there. Let's see. And then I wanted to pull into that pose a little bit faster. Hold it out a little bit more here too. This does feel a little too stiff here, so I'll have to loosen that up, but I think I want a few more frames in here, so give me about 8 more frames, which would put us at, 73? Let's go Window, Animation Editors, Graph Editor, and push these guys so that we're back against there. Give me a few more frames to pull up into there. That's too long. So I'll cut that by about 2 frames too. Post that at 71. Let's watch this now. Maybe set this here, not there. Let's see. I think I want to hold that for about 2 more frames. I think I'll slow down the beginning by adding a frame into each part there a little bit more. Let's see. What if I set that one and delete that? Feels like it walks off a little too much. think that's a okay rough timing. Still they're going to mix up everything a little bit more. I think for overall timing that feels about right. Okay, now let's go and save our file. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab everything that I would do for like the chest, which is this stuff, and delay it about 2 frames. Yeah, let's look at that now. And then grab everything on the head, and we'll delay that about 2 frames. So right here, let's go ahead and drag that a little bit more. Swing it back a little bit more. And then I wanted to put in another one here where this really breaks back. So right here, this should be going forward already. So I'll take everything that we've got here, set that. Everything we got there, and delete these guys in between. And let's cut a frame from there, a frame from here. Let's see it now. Cut another frame out of there. Give me 2 more frames in here. Maybe 2 more frames there, so it's a little bit tighter of a hold. This one feels like it goes, should be about a frame sooner. And I think we need to set a key there, and give me 2 more frames there so we really get a tight hold right towards that end. So let's see. And cut about set that, but then cut a frame out of here. these guys, and we'll delay these a bunch here. So let's see. Don't want this happening for a few more frames. And we still want to hold it for a few more frames there. Let's see now. And then this flats off a little too much, so let's go. We'll keep that on, delete that, move that a few frames back. Let's look at that now. Still want to hold this for about 3 more frames. Alright, let's see it now. Maybe it's one too many frames, so let's cut one more frame out of there. Maybe one more frame. Feels like it's a little too flat. Yeah, give it about 3 more frames here. And then give me, let's see, I want that. Let's delete these guys here. We'll have better ease into that last pose. So let's see. Set that. Give me a couple more frames here. Might be a little too tight. Let's see. Alright, let's take a look at these guys again so we don't lock them off so much. Let them still have a little bit of movement throughout. Maybe another frame in here. Another frame there. Yeah, cut that frame out of here. Simplify a little bit more. And what do I need? Got about 83 frames now. Cut that a little bit. Alright, then I want to take all of these guys and delay them a frame. And all the tips, we'll delay them a frame. And we'll take everything on the top here. We'll put it a frame forward. And everything on the bottom ones. let's go ahead and shorten the amount of time we have. So cut a frame out here, cut a frame out to there. It's a little bit more explode into that last pose. Maybe a frame sooner. Maybe we'll overshoot these a little bit more. So let's go rotate Y, open them up a little bit more here. This one as well, if I can grab it. Okay. Let's look at that now. Still think we could hold this for a couple more frames here. Give it 2 more. It's too long. Cut a frame out of there. Maybe what we need to do is go here. see if I want to do anything on the ending a little bit more. It's alright. Let's push these out a little bit more when they open up. Let's look at this one. And we could have it go down a little bit here. And down a little bit there. Just so we get a little bit of recoil on that. Let's see if that works. That's too soon, so we'll go something like that. And it's a little too much and a little too fast, so let's add an extra frame in there. Let's see if that helps it. That should go down more. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Jeez, I got sneezes today. And I think I want to ease out of that a little bit more. So we'll set that, give me about 2 more frames there. Ease out of that ending position a little bit more. And I don't think we're going to go back to about 90, 89. Okay, let's see that now. And maybe a little bit overshoot on these parts as well. Let's see. Down a little bit, then up a little bit, down a little bit. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Alright, and I think I'll delay this tip 1 more frame. Alright, and let's look at these guys. So we'll curl them. Where's that? Will that be rotate X here? Rotate set that one, delete that. Let's see it now. Let's try and simplify this a little bit more. Let's see. I think that first one should maybe be a frame later. And what about this base? Try to do a little bit better on there. Alright, and let's look at this one. We'll swing it out there a little bit more. And a little bit more. Out a little bit more. And back. Okay. And let's see it now. Maybe a little bit less towards the end. And tone it down a little bit more. Alright, and let's look at this portion here. Here it should be out more. In a little bit more. Out a little bit more. And back again. Okay, let's try and clean that up a little bit better. Alright, so let's see it now. And this guy feels probably a little bit over exaggerated, so let's scale him back a little bit more. Yeah, let's see that now. Try and taper it off a little bit better towards the end. This one as well. Tone that one down a little bit more. Okay, now what about these things? What do these things do? Nothing. Thought we could maybe scale them or something. Oh well. Okay, well, we can do a little bit with the bottom portion of the leaves here, so let's try and do that. Let's look at all of the bases. Okay. And here, I'm sure they're all going to be different, right? Of course. Okay. just have our first pose, middle pose, and that pose. Why this one's pulled forward, I don't know. Let's redo that. And delete everything before, everything after. Okay, not a ton of movement, but it still works. Okay, and then we'll go here, and we'll try and pull it up and in. This one up and in. This one up and in. This one up and in. Kind of anticipate that move that's coming here. This one, that guy, pull him back a little bit more, twist it a little bit. This one, use a couple of controllers here. Okay, so now let's go in, make sure we have all of these ones locked in. So I'll go here, delete that, and I'll delete all the ones before it, and everything after it until we loop back in. So now we have at least a couple of poses to move between, so that will give us okay. So let's go here, and we're just going to pretty much play around with this by not really adding any more poses, but just tweaking our timing and using these two main poses to manipulate everything here. Okay, so we know we want this, we know we want that. Go ahead and delete this one, and we know we want that. Okay. So I'm going to make 0 at 10 and 6 at 0. So we have a little place to, let's go over here. Come on. Okay, let's start off with the beginning then. All the bases here. Okay. Alright, I'll start off with all the tips. I want to grab every portion that we can of these so we can work with that. For some reason, I didn't have all of them selected before, so let's try that again and grab all of the bottom ones. Okay, set that, set that, set that, delete that one, and delete that one. Okay. So I'll take 6, I'll take 0, and put that at 10. 6 will be our 0, so we have a little bit of down to go with. Then we'll hold that for a few frames here. And take that, put it there, and wrap back into where we were. So let's see if that works. ourselves a few more frames to get here. We'll take 19, hold that till about 26. And maybe push that about a frame sooner. Get another little bit of hold there. Hold it for a little bit longer. And then on this one, I want to exaggerate everything a little bit more. So let's take all of our rotates and shoot it down further. Push that one down further. Just so that it does open up a little bit more. This one, push it down further, over further, this one as well. Okay. Alright, now let's go ahead and save our file, and we'll go through and try and grab all of these guys again, and we'll start tweaking around again with everything. Okay, so all the tips, all the mids, and all the bases. Okay. Alright, that there. Hold it for a little bit longer. Let's see. And then hold this for another couple of frames. We'll set this about there, and this at about there. Let's see. That doesn't feel so good. I'm trying to get a little bit of recoil in there. Set that at about 64. Let's see. 61, about there. Let it go there. Okay, so let's see that. This is too much and too soon. So we'll cut it by frame and value and give it another frame for movement. And then we still want a little more movement here. So I think I'll hit 40, but delete that one. Just so we get a teeny bit of movement throughout there. Okay, then I'll grab all of the mids and tips. this guy. And this one. I'll push it forward a frame. And this one. And this one. And I'll push it back a frame so you get a little bit of variation throughout those leaves. And let's see it now. I think we're probably hitting about our hour, so let's start wrapping it up. Let's take a look back at where we started. We were looking at the beautiful work of Greg Capullo, and he said it takes a lot of sacrifice. You have to be prepared for that. And I think something that doesn't get pushed enough is that this is going to be, your journey is going to be a challenge. It's going to be a lot of steps. It's going to be something that you continue doing every day. So go out there and create. I love you guys lots. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes. And we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.